Hello and welcome to Geek at Play Studio tutorials. In this tutorial we continue to exploring the Strata filters. So we'll get a little bit more experience to working with them, and we'll see some other options in those filters. So let's create procedural terrain, and I want actually increase in size. So we'll make quite a bit large size for this terrain. Okay, as well we'll take our camera. We'll just slightly buff so we can preview our terrain. And let's change to the render to screen. As well, I want to change the free user define and increase our kind of width. So what's happening? We'll create more panoramic view. Okay, let's move our camera just slightly away. Okay, here is our terrain. We'll go ahead now, right click, and when we select the terrain, and we'll go to edit object. Okay, right here, what I want to do is just shrink slightly so we can observe our changes that we're going to apply to the terrain on our screen. In a procedural tab, we'll go ahead and right click over the function display so we can go to function editor. Okay, right now in this function editor, okay, let me readjust the positioning. There you go. Okay, we start working. So one thing what I want to do, I want to switch from simple terrain, I want to switch to the terrain fractal. Okay, and a couple things right here. Okay, let me see if I can just readjust so we can see all those options on the screen. Okay, okay, right here. So right here, you can see we have it our meta scale, and we look before on some of options. What I want to do, I want to just modify slightly some of them to achieve better display on this kind of smooth and rigging environment. Even right now, if we go and look, you can see with this preset with terrain fractal, actually we switch right here. Let me render a little bit. So we'll preview. You can notice we have it smooth and some rigging, but I want to increase and enhance those details. So let's go right here and let's modify some of the settings. Okay, a couple things I want to do. I want to decrease meta scale, and I want to decrease to about maybe 10. Meta scale is nice, but doing this, I want to have it actually more detailed. So that's the reason why I'm decreasing meta scale. As well, large features, I want to decrease to maybe, this one about right, maybe about 7 to 9. So you can see I'll bring in more detail, so we have it more rigging. As well, because we're using terrain fractal, we also have it some nice smooth areas in other. So we'll mix between rigid kind of mountains and smooth areas below. Okay, net smaller features, we just leave it like this. The roughness, I just maybe just slightly higher. We'll leave it again the same. As well, I don't want to modify any of noise variations, and maybe just pop-up bumps a little bit higher. We're going maybe about 2-4 points. We'll see what this will happen. Okay, something around right here maybe. And reduce our ridge smoothness. Okay, distortion, we just leave it 121, maybe just slightly down. Let's see what we give it. Yeah, this is giving us much more details at this point, you can observe. So let's just move this away and click to preview. You can see right now we pop up more details. So we have a very nice smooth areas. At the same time, we have this region and sharpness and some. Okay, at this point, what I want to do, I want to actually work more on enhancements. And now we're using terrain. Next, what I want to do here, it's select, and I want insert actually. Okay, let me move just slightly down so we can observe what I want to do. I want to go inside recursive, and I want to use it confine strata. So let's select this one as well. We just slightly increasing, so right here. And you notice we worked before with this strata filter, so everything look kind of familiar, except now we have this additional area, and this is help us actually confine the strata filter to specific area. For example, we can say specify lower level, higher level, and also how much it will fade on those borders. So it's very straightforward. And let's do this. Let's modify some stuff. The rock hardness will just maybe slightly pop up. Okay, right here you can see we already have it very nice in areas. Thickness, you know what, let's actually make a smaller thickness, so we'll have a little bit more details on the layers. As well with the spacing, I just want to actually increase spacing. Again, you can experiment with what you like it. Maybe decrease layer spacing between, but I want to keep it 1.85 about. Okay, the plateau, actually I want less, apply on this one. Okay, we'll leave it here. I don't want to change any angle. I want to keep it default, but on below and high level, I want a little bit modify. So I want to pop up just slightly up maybe. But above layer, I want the same, just slightly keep it up. Okay, and we'll just for now leave it fade in and out. Same. Let's look where we have it, and you can notice even at this point, now we add this very nice strata layers right here. So we start mixing. We still have it sharp, we still have it some smooth, but also processors to the filter, so we don't apply to our higher levels or lower, but at the same time we add this beautiful strata kind of displacement on our terrain. So we modified, we're using what we have it before, terrain fractal, and we're using constraint strata for this. Let's click OK. Let's click one more time. Okay, the one thing what I want to do, it is duplicate it, so we'll put it one maybe around this area. So let's go ahead, you can press Control and drag, this will duplicate it. Also let's right click, we'll go to edit object, go ahead, edit function, we'll click to go in our terrain fractal, and I just slightly decrease this feature, which is change our terrain and provide us for some different looking terrain. So even small changes, you can already see how much it will give it us more flexibility and look like total different terrain. So let's move this at that place, just pop up a little bit up, so we have a very nice hills kind of going this way. Okay, let's go right now and apply some materials to this terrain. Go ahead, open, and what I'm going to do, I need to define my base material. So before we do this, okay, let's go ahead and maybe load it set future. So we'll set this one as default. We'll go edit function, and right here I just will apply simple fractal and just pop up slightly on a coloring. Okay, same as a bump. Maybe just go ahead and connect to altitude. Let's click OK. We'll decrease our bump so it won't be overwhelmed, just slightly. Okay, and when we preview, you can see we are already applied. Maybe the bumps is a little bit too high. Maybe even go to like 50, just slightly something. We have a nicer cover right here. Okay, this is our base. Next, what I want to do is add additional layers. Okay, let's add one more layer, and this layer probably go select bandit. Okay, we'll pop up a little bit right here, and I want this work with environment, so I actually want this to be kind of maybe on the middle. Pop up. Okay, let's preview. you will notice now we have it, those filters applied just maybe on the sides a little bit. Okay. Let's increase more. So we have a little bit higher alpha. Right in some areas, you can see we applied, again, because we constrain to specific slope range. Okay, just right on the side right here. So this material will apply to the slope range. Okay, let's go ahead and add another layer. Okay, and in this case, I want to actually use a sand. And this layer, I want to place it on the top of our material. So we'll just increase slightly here. We'll go to Environment tab and we'll move maybe around here. Okay, we'll just make smoother on the edge slightly. Let's pop up, it's brighter. Okay, what has happened to us right now, because we says on which slope, you can notice we start applying sand around this area. So it's on a slope where most likely sand will stay. So we did a more rigid on a side where the rocks and where the sand can be collected. We actually apply to that. You know what? Let me reduce so it won't be much. It's kind of need see between balancing. Okay. So let's apply another layer. On this time, I'll just use it aggregated layer of the rock. Okay, and on this time I want to restrict on a height, how high I want this applied. Okay, maybe around here. As well, what I want to do, I want it to be a little bit flatter on a flat lens and right on both right here. So it will start mix it right here on the bottom. You can see we applied more. At the same time, it's giving us this nice feelings. Okay, you know what? On a sand, let's do this. Let's just slightly reduce so we don't have that mess right here. So we have sand right here. We have some other material. On the slopes, we have it more those the banded one material, apply a little bit to the straight right here. So we start mixing with materials where we want them on position. So, and with the layers, it will help us to do that. Okay, we'll apply here, and this one maybe more so I can preview higher. Again, this is kind of grayish palette. You can change this if you want it. For example, if you want on a sand, we can go ahead and modify this a little more on a green color. Just example, give it to you. So we can preview and see this change more colors this way. As well, remember, we have our highlighters. Anytime you can press highlighter and you can see where these materials will position. So it's right here. If we look on another, you can see where the other material position. Okay. So let me, for example, let's take orange. So we can see better where the material going. Okay, and we can actually just slightly maybe readjusting. Okay. So the highlighters does help to see where we will have it. Okay, maybe green, it's too much, of course. So we'll go to our color and just reset it. It's just example how we can do and where we can position. Next one we're done, right click, says copy this material. We'll go to other terrain we created and we'll just paste this material over. Okay, let's preview what we have it. And you can see we have it very nice mountains, nice sand right here, and we have a nice mountain on the back. Okay, take main camera, just slightly maybe more in the sky. Let's take our sun right now, and I want to actually position a little bit this way so we have it beautiful shadows right here on the side a little bit. It's and reason why, because with these shadows we'll have a nice picture going right here with the strata displaying for us. Okay, next we go to atmosphere editor, and just to make it, we can use radiosity. It's not necessarily needed here because we don't have it real lights, but I just want to play a little bit more in the lights right in the edges. We'll get more towards sunlight. Okay, we'll drop our sky a little bit down. We'll make a little bit darker look on this. Add a little haze to our details. We'll leave it everything else same. Okay, let's go click OK. And also in the sun, what I like to do on landscapes, I like to use its soft shadows. It will give it this nice shadows on a landscape, very realistic look. Okay, next let's go to final. Okay, in many cases you can use user settings. Okay, and just enable some options, but for the previewer and faster render I will use the final setting. Okay, let's go 640 by 270, render to screen. Let's preview our image. Okay, so we're done with the render, and you can see we have very beautiful apply stratas. Okay, material maybe that where I put it, it's a little bit too strong, so I want to reduce this one. But we have a nice moving strata right here with a soft embedding with a sand going over. It's very real, look very real material in this case. We'll go to this and we'll decrease amount here as well. We just reduce a little bit so it's won't be that obvious going this point. As well, we go to atmosphere, and actually I want to decrease amount of, so it'll be a little bit more bluish color give it to us. That is about right. Okay, we can go preview, but couple things I want to show you in adding objects. So when you start working, let's go ahead, edit function. Couple enhancements you can actually apply at this point. Okay, let me readjust. Okay, one, we can go ahead and add turbulence. Okay, we can connect to origin, which is give it us a little bit more applying towards twisting our terrain, so it won't be that straight. It's add some kind of character now. Of course, if you want it, we can increase amplitude more, give it to that point. And next, when you like it, okay, let me zoom out, fit it. We can select the nodes that we'll kind of like and we want to use, and we can always create as meta node. And meta node, okay, let's open again our meta node at this point. We can go through all these abilities, and for example, on that case, what I want to do, I want to make sure that my meta scale is accessible. Okay, and in constraint in our strata filters, I want to maybe modify a little bit some options like layer spacing. Oops, actually I don't want to create these. I want enable. This is again, this is just as example. So right now we have it in our meta nodes. We have those variables is accessible, so we can modify them. Like if I want to decrease slightly right here. I can modify it that way. So you can play around with some settings. Okay, and you can, when you have it meta node, you can save it and load any future. On this case, you will preserve when you start creating terrain and you think you find very good composition on your terrain on some options you want to use. They always you can create as a meta node and reuse just simple insert in your other terrains. So let me restore the original right here. Okay, I'll set higher so we can preview better details. Let's render this change we applied. Here's our final image, and you can see how we combine with sharp peaks, applied some smoothness areas, like maybe already dissolved with sand, and as well we have some very nice strata filters in containing specific areas embedded in this terrain. Thank you for watching this tutorial from Geek at Play Studio. Please visit us on the web is www.geekatplay.com.